Welcome back to the garage, you guys. Just wanted to give a real quick construction tip, design, trade-off, the whole notion of putting together your bamboo backing on your bow, because sometimes the optimum scenario does not exist. And if you watched my initial video on bamboo backing, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say you want to situate your bamboo such that the center of the bow is centered on a node of the bamboo. And the idea behind that was that when you put your power lamb on your bow, your power lamb does not end at the same point as another node in your bamboo. Point being that you're bringing way too much pressure to bear all in one place on the limb, with your power lamb ending and the thickest part of the bamboo residing in the same area. Well, now, what do you do when you have a piece of bamboo that really just doesn't accommodate the design idea? So what I have here is a 68-inch bow blank, 68-inch tip to tip, so it's a 66-inch knock-to-knock bow. If I want to position this particular piece of bamboo with a node in the center, I'm short on, no matter how I line this up, I end up short. And so we are not going to be able to accommodate that design aspect with this piece of bamboo. Now, in that original video, I talked about not choosing this piece of bamboo, but what do you do when every piece of bamboo you have is basically a variation of this particular piece? You're not going to find a piece of bamboo that has a node that is going to ride in the center of this particular bow length and have the node in the center. Okay, so now what do we do? And this here is the notion of trade-offs in bow building. We have a couple things we can do. We can shorten the bow. So if we want to use the bamboo as the constraint piece in this scenario, we could cut the bow down, take about 3 inches off of each end of the bow, right, to get similar layout of the bamboo. But you end up with what would be a very short bow, and in some instances, bowyers, particularly new bowyers, are just not comfortable tailoring such a short bow, and even then, it's got its own trade-offs in use. So you're going to get a lot of stack involved with the draw on a shorter limbed bow, or you need to really put in a lot of reflex and deflex into that design. So those are things we could do to make this work. In this instance, I am putting together a bow. The customer wants it to be 66 inches knock to knock. And so how do we deal with this issue here? All right, so here we go. Here's our power lamb. I have put together a power lamb that is going to extend now. It's 15 inches. And it extends then 2 inches beyond each node on each side. And in doing so, you are going to, by virtue of the taper on this power lamb, have a thicker belly section augmented by the presence of your power lamb that is going to help protect the belly of your bow in this scenario. When we construct it this way, we in fact make it such that we can safely build a first-rate bow and not necessarily have a node centered in the grip. All right. Some other design aspects to take into consideration with that is to ensure that the belly of the bow is in fact bending toward the limb, and bending toward the limb early the way we need it to is ensure that we've got really good deflex in this stave prior to glue up. All right, so we're going to pay particular attention to having a really good deflex in this limb, or this bow belly, having a longer power lamb, and then we'll put the bamboo right on top, and end result is going to be just as good scenario as if we were to have centered this particular node on the grip. All right, so I feel like anytime someone goes out there and kind of gives you a rule of thumb or any other kind of constraint, like basic constraint in terms of bow building, somebody goes out there and immediately ignores it and is successful with it. And so I wanted to kind of show you guys that I know that I have previously published the notion of making sure you have a node in the center of your bow, but that is not 100% necessary provided you design the entirety of that bow correctly. All right, so thanks for tuning in for this quick video on design and construction, and I will catch you in the shop next week.